Has the tide shifted in the National Basketball Association, from the league being a Western Conference-dominated league to a new power growing in the East, following an unexpected win by New York and free agency dominated by Miami, Philly, and Boston? For quite some time now, the manufactured prevailing opinion in basketball is that teams in the Western Conference are built better than teams in the East. Despite the championships won by Milwaukee, Boston, and now New York, the narrative is still maintained. Teams like San Antonio, Oklahoma City, and Houston have young talent and roster depth. But the East is no longer chumps, at least on paper. While I do not think the New York Knicks will have that same magical dominant run next year, they still have talent to compete. Boston is always a contender for another title, despite recent moves. And thanks to a head-scratching trade within the division, my Philadelphia 76ers have potentially propelled themselves to top of the list for championship contenders from the East. We cannot write of the potential the Miami Heat have for next season, but they traded a lot away to get the Greek Freak, but still have some pieces to play with him that are experienced and might make Miami formidable. The Raptors hope to reignite their hopes by reaching into the past with their trade for Kawhi Leonard. Teams that win free agency do not necessarily win later on at the end of the season. Sometimes these moves just set the foundation for future success. Some of these new additions need a couple of more pieces or experience playing together. We saw that with Miami following the decision. For teams like Philly, the need is more immediate, as they have late-in-career talent that could help push us forward if put in the right position and situations. At some point, we need to make the transition to the young stars in Maxey and VJ. Trading for Jaylen Brown will help with this in my opinion. And if they can add LeBron and make a successful championship run, that would really help the transition.
It would help if all those pieces come together. But there are still some formidable rosters in the West that cannot be overlooked. The Spurs are still contenders. Maybe they did not handle the emotions of defeating the defending champions as well as they needed, given that they seem to be ahead of the proverbial schedule. The Oklahoma City Thunder are not going away next season, so they can be considered a reasonable threat for a title. The Spurs did not sweep them. It went the distance. Maybe the Thunder find a way past the Spurs and their stars continue their ascent. With a two-time reigning most valuable player, they will definitely want to right the ship. The Houston Rockets are adding talent as well as the Portland Trail Blazers. The Denver Nuggets still have one of the greatest players in the game as well. And imagine, if we lose another possible talent, that we are in the mix for another California team? LeBron joining the Warriors could be a game-changer as well.
LeBron and Steph Curry playing together will be good for nostalgia and seeing two all-time greats play together. But I think that team will not be as competitive as a Sixer team with LeBron. I think we offer a greater balance of young talent that can handle the bulk of the work and veterans that can still have their moments along the way. The National Basketball Association does not have a senior tour like golf. But, of course, being a Philly fan, I want the outcome that sells the most tickets for us and allows us to compete and contend. But I agree that it might not be an East takeover. More of an East catching up a bit to the West in terms of depth and star power. Or a result of the second apron, where players will need to move as teams are unable to load up rosters once player salaries reach peak levels. That is the reason Boston is claiming they moved on from a budding superstar in his prime. But it will always be an excuse if there is a player that rubs leadership the wrong way. There is great parity in basketball right now. So it makes predicting the next champion solely on free agency more difficult now than in the past. If the belief that continuity and experience are essential, then maybe the Sixers, Heat, and Blazers are just setting the foundation for the future with hopes that there are glimpses in this upcoming season.
We have to appreciate this moment in time for Philly sports right now. The Eagles continue to contend. The Phillies have righted the ship and are set to host the All-Star Game. The Sixers are able to land a major talent in Jaylen Brown, and the Flyers made an unexpected playoff run and upset the Pittsburgh Penguins, then followed it up with a bold attempt to bolster the roster. Although the Ducks matched the offer, the Flyers fans should be hopeful, as we are in a time where all our teams are aggressively pursuing to compete and obtain a championship. Not every city is in the same situation as we are. Every team made the playoffs in their last season, and we had a parade not that long ago. But we Philly fans are not going to be complacent. We want more and expect our teams to always be in the pursuit of the next one. That is what great sports cities do, and we seem to finally have the right leadership in place for all four franchises at the same time. That is really great to experience and hope it pays off. We can be a big tent sports city, cheering for all four teams. We dropped the ball for the Sixers, but we will not make that mistake next postseason. While we are demanding, we must be reasonable as well. We cannot hope for front office leaders to take